Voilà, bonjour et très bienvenue à notre réunion de midi. Pour commencer, je voudrais inviter Maciej à nous joindre sur le podium. Maciej a une annonce concernant NextGenerationEU, notre programme post-pandémie pour soutenir la croissance économique et la compétitivité. Et on a quelques annonces à partager sur ce sujet. Maciej.
Thank you, Paula. Good afternoon, everybody. Indeed, today the European Commission will disburse a total of 4.1 billion to Greece, Portugal, Slovenia and Austria under the Next Generation EU programme. These disbursements will continue to support economic growth and resilience in these member states. Greece receives its sixth payment, amounting to 2.1 billion, to support critical areas such as healthcare, education, public administration, taxation and renewable energies. 1.1 billion euros will be paid to Portugal and correspond to the seventh payment under the RRF. It will finance healthcare, housing, forest fire management and measures to boost business environment. For Austria, it is the third RRF payment, this time reaching almost 516 million euros. These funds will improve working conditions in the long-term care system and develop residential photovoltaic networks. And finally, Slovenia is receiving today almost 440 million euros as a fourth RRF payment, which will support long-term care, energy efficiency, railway infrastructure, digital education and science. Thank you.
Merci Maciej pour ces bonnes nouvelles. Et pour finir, permettez-moi d'attirer votre attention sur la réunion informelle des ministres des Affaires étrangères qui a lieu en ce moment précis et qui a débuté ce matin par vidéoconférence. La haute représentante Kallas préside la réunion et sur l'agenda, on a la question des développements plus récents autour de la guerre d'agression russe contre l'Ukraine. Une conférence de presse avec la haute représentante est prévue vers 13 heures, donc immédiatement après notre réunion ici. Et je vous invite donc à réserver vos questions sur l'Ukraine, comme d'habitude pour cette conférence de presse dédiée. Et voici pour nos annonces, et on peut passer à vos questions. Razia, I saw your hand first. Vas-y.
Thanks so much. Razia Akoch, AFP News Agency. I just had some questions about an announcement that was made in the Daily News about Shein. I see that the European Commission has sent a request for information, and it says preliminary indications that there are illegal goods, particularly childlike sex dolls and weapons that are being offered. So I had two questions. This kind of makes it seem like the Commission has also found that these products are being sold, and so how by opening, and then this leads me to my second question. Sorry. Does this mean that an investigation will then be opened? And in terms of timing, today there was a hearing which has now been postponed to next week in France. Is this like a clin d'oeil, a wink at France? What's the timing? Thank you.
Thank you, Razia. And to answer all those questions, Thomas with us.
Thank you, Raz. No special wink at France. It's just we're taking this very seriously. So childlike sex dolls, as we have been saying, have no place online. Weapons have no place online. Dangerous toys have no place online. But we know from the French authorities that Shein has been selling all of them in France. And we take this, of course, very seriously. We looked into the matter, as I have been saying 2 weeks ago. We talked to the French authorities, we talked to Shein, and we now have serious indications that indeed Shein may be posing a more systemic risks for our consumers across the entire European Union. This is why we have indeed sent a request for information just now to Shein, asking the company to send us two types of information. First, what are the systems that the company has put in place to prevent these illegal goods from being sold online? Second, what has the company done to prevent minors from accessing them? We now, of course, invite Shein to cooperate, to send us these internal documents that we're requesting from them, but I will not today prejudge on the potential opening of investigation at a later stage.
So if we speak of winks, rather wink on Shein. That's what we are indeed doing. Razia, you have a follow-up?
I don't know if the European lawmakers, the EU lawmakers, have already made a vote, but it looks like there's going to be a resolution that says that they want there to be swifter, faster, rather than it being a last resort measure to suspend the platform, it should go much faster. But I've looked at the DSA and there's like a whole process. So I wanted to ask, is the Commission prepared perhaps in this Digital Fairness Act to consider making it go faster in the event of situations like these? Thank you.
Thank you, Raz. It's indeed in the DSA the last resort measure. Why? Because we don't want to suspend any platform in the EU. We want our consumers, our citizens, to be able to enjoy all of these online platforms. However, where we need quick action is when we have serious risks that are emerging. Can be from a few sellers, criminal sellers at national level. In that case, what the French authorities did is fully right. You open a criminal investigation, you look precisely into these sellers because this has to be taken down swiftly, to take your words again. Now, we then are looking at it from a more systemic point of view, and there again we follow due process, we have appropriate steps, proportionate steps, enforcement steps that we're taking. This is a first one. I mean, not the first one because it's not the first RFI to Shein, but it's the first stage that we're taking, and we take this, of course, seriously, and I would not exclude nor prejudge any potential additional steps on this.
Thank you. Other questions to Thomas? Yes, please.
Yes, Gianluca Martucci, Public Policy Italian News Agency. Thank you for the floor. Thomas, if you can provide us with the number of member states that submitted the plans related to SAFE that are due to be submitted by the 30th of November, and at what stage are the negotiations with the UK and Canada on their participation to the instrument? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'll start with the first one. So we have 19 member states who tentatively received a SAFE allocation, so we expect 19 national plans. Now, before we reach the deadline, the 30th of November, I will not go into specifics of which member states have submitted plans or not. I will keep this for next week. Now, that being said, when it comes to the UK and Canada, we, of course, take the negotiations that we're conducting with both the UK and Canada extremely seriously. We are like-minded partners. We said it very clearly. Europe and Canada and Europe and the UK will always be stronger together. So we are indeed still fully negotiating with both of them in order to fully include both of them into our SAFE instrument.
Good. Other questions to Thomas? Does not seem to be the case, so we can move to different topics. Yes, please.
Hello, Thomas Mann-Nielsen at Euractiv. I have a question regarding something that President von der Leyen said in her speech at the Parliament this morning about the Commission being ready to table a legal proposal pertaining to the reparation loan. Could you just explain when exactly, what exactly this means? I mean, does the Commission have the legal proposal ready and it hasn't circulated to member states yet, or is it going to be circulated in the next few days? Or yeah, if you can say more. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. Yes, and indeed, you noticed well President von der Leyen at her speech at the European Parliament this morning on Ukraine, on the Ukraine peace plan, did mention exactly our work on the reparations loan, and she indicated that the Commission is ready to present the legal text, so the legal proposal. So what's the situation? As you know, there are ongoing discussions with the Member States on this topic. Including in the Coreper, so where we are discussing also on the basis of the letter that President von der Leyen had shared with Member States some days ago. We are receiving feedback from Member States on that basis, and we expect that there will be clear feedback also with regard to the legal proposal and the timing. So the President signalled that we're ready to table it. The discussions are taking place, and we will expect that we will receive also concrete feedback, including on this regard. Jorge.
Hello, Paul. It's also a question on this speech and the part on the reparations loan. The President said, to be very clear, I cannot see any scenario in which the European taxpayers alone will pay the bill. This is also not acceptable. Does this mean that she's somehow disowning the other two options in the paper? And don't you think that taking such a categorical position at this stage of the debate basically preempts the debate that leaders should have? Thank you.
Okay, so as you know, the President had put forward the options in a letter that she shared with Member States a few days ago, and it includes the reparations loan, it includes two other options, and she indicated this could also be combined. That's really also now for the appreciation of the Member States. This being said, the President has also been very clear from the beginning that she sees the reparations loan as the more realistic way going forward. And what the President has also always insisted upon is on the need for Russia, for the aggressor, to pay for the incredible damage that it is creating in Ukraine. And the reparations loan is precisely the option that meets this request and this requirement, which means Russia to pay for the damage it is creating. You have a follow-up?
Yes, thank you. Can you say if the Commission is also ready to present proposals or texts regarding the other two options, or just the reparations loan? And when it comes to the possibility of combining the options, will the Commission also put forward a proposal about a potential combination of options? Thank you.
As said, discussions are taking place, and we expect that we will receive further feedback from Member States. We'll see whether they will be asking also for legal proposals on the other options. We'll take it from there. So, as said, let's see what comes out of notably the Coreper meeting, which is taking place later. Yes.
Hello, Julia Serivan, Journal TV, Republic of Moldova. My question is regarding Moldova. Recently, 6 drones violated the airspace of the Republic of Moldova. One of them landed on a residential house on Moldovan territory. So I would appreciate a statement from the Commission. What's the Commission assessment of the security risk posed to Moldova by such incidents, and the Commission position on repeated violations of Moldovan airspace linked to the war, and any ongoing or planned EU support to help Moldova strengthening its resilience. Thanks.
Thank you. And Anwar will take up this question.
Yes, thank you for the question. This airspace violation is another deliberate provocation from Russia. It is part of a broader pattern of Russian drones entering EU airspace too, unprecedented in both scale and recklessness. Our message is clear. The EU will continue supporting Moldova in strengthening its capacities. We have a very solid cooperation with Moldova that will further enhance, including through the European Peace Facility, which has been ongoing and ever increasing, both qualitatively and quantitatively since 2021. The EU Partnership Mission will also continue providing strategic advice in countering hybrid threats.
Yes, and if I may also refer you to a statement that President von der Leyen put out yesterday following the call of the Coalition of the Willing, where she mentioned precisely also this drones and referred to the fact that while Europe's partners are fully engaged in looking for a just and sustainable peace in Ukraine, at those very precise moments, Russia escalates with attacks on Kiev, with missiles and drones violating Moldovan and also Romanian airspace, which is a clear reminder that Europe's security is, that Ukraine's security is Europe's security, and so is the neighborhood's security. So just to remind also the statement of the President in this precise context. Now, I see that there was still a pending question, and I apologize, on the reparations loan. We keep Anwar on the podium because we'll certainly have more questions on the foreign affairs front. Mathieu Bion.
Hello.
Oui, Mathieu.
Vous m'entendez?
Oui, mais on ne te voit pas.
Aïe,
Et tu sais qu'on aime bien vous voir.
Ouais, si je suis dans la salle de presse du Parlement à Strasbourg, je ne sais pas ce qui se passe.
C'est mieux de venir à la salle de presse ici. Écoute, on va revenir sur toi tant que tu règles le problème et on va voir Jarno qui apparemment a aussi une question au même sujet. Jarno.
Yes, thank you. Hope you can hear me all right.
We can.
On the reparation loan. Sorry, I think that the audio problem is only for me. I tried to cope with it. Would it be safe to assume that the legal proposal for reparation loan can only can be only published after the discussion at the European Council in December, or is the Commission ready? Is the proposal so well prepared already that you might be able to give the proposal even before the EU? Thank you.
Thank you, Jarno. Listen, the President has been very clear this morning. The Commission is ready to present the legal text. So, as I said, discussions are taking place with the Member States. If there is a wish to come up with a proposal already now, we are ready to do so. Let's see what else. Mathieu, in the meantime, we'll reply to all questions on the reparations loan.
Oui.
Ah, maintenant, on te voit et on t'écoute.
Merci. Je n'ai pas entendu la question de Jarno ni la réponse, donc je ne sais pas s'il a déjà posé celle que j'ai en tête, mais est-ce que la Commission a déjà proposé, enfin préparé des propositions législatives sur les deux autres options qui sont mentionnées dans la lettre de la Présidente? Et est-ce que vous êtes désormais en mesure de faire une proposition formelle avant le Conseil européen?
Donc voilà, c'était en partie effectivement la question aussi de Jarno. Donc je disais, on est prêt, et la Présidente l'a dit elle-même ce matin, on est prêt à présenter la proposition législative pour ce qui concerne les biens gelés. Pour ce qui est des autres options, on va voir quel est le retour qu'on va recevoir, notamment au sein du Coreper et des discussions qui ont lieu avec les États membres, et s'il y a une demande aussi dans ce sens. Voilà. Et on revient aux questions Foreign Affairs pour Anwar. Oui. Yes, please, go ahead.
Angela Mauro, Post Italy, thanks. On the reparation loans, you said that discussions are taking place with member states. I was wondering if discussions and contacts are taking place on this with the American interlocutors, as this is a sensitive point in the negotiations between Washington, Kiev and Russia that doesn't like this, and as this point was included in the 28 plan, Trump's plan, and it's been excluded from the 19-point plan as far as we know. Thanks.
Angela, so you're referring to the discussions going on a draft peace plan that had been presented. I understand that the discussions that took place, notably in Geneva, concerned the whole of the draft. So I would expect that this has also been subject of the discussions where we are having conversations with our counterparts, including, of course, the United States. Questions on foreign affairs. Let's see if there are other colleagues. No, then go ahead.
Thank you, Thomas Mann Nielsen at Euractiv. I have another question about the speech that President von der Leyen gave today about Ukraine, and in particular the comment that she made where she said that as a sovereign nation there can be no limitations on Ukraine's armed forces that would leave the country vulnerable to future attacks. And my question is, I mean, there are two ways of interpreting this. One is there can be no limitations on Ukraine's armed forces at all, or there could be limitations, but the limitations wouldn't be so stringent such that Ukraine wouldn't be potentially threatened by a future attack. So you could have, very high limitations, for instance, on Ukraine's armed forces. So my question is, which of these two options, or which of these interpretations is correct? I mean, no limitations at all, or there could be some limitations, but they could be very, very high and not particularly stringent. Thanks.
Yes, Thomas. Listen, this would be, come down really also to what Ukraine is ready to do. And that we cannot forget that underlying principle that President von der Leyen has been also insisting upon, which is nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine. So any limitation to the Ukrainian armed forces, if any at all, would need to be accepted by those most concerned, which is Ukraine. And in this sense, we also need to recall that the security of Ukraine is also linked to Europe's security, and hence Europe should also have a say on this in this regard. Other questions on foreign affairs? Mose.
Yes, thank you very much, Paula. First, a very small follow-up question to the previous question about drones spotted in Moldova, because I think it was reported a drone was spotted above Saventas airport outside Brussels yesterday evening, which shut down the air traffic there before the strike today. And I'm not wrong, Anu, I think that you have said before that these drones are arriving not directly from Russia, but from vessels in its shadow fleet. Can you please confirm that, and when do you expect that a EU member state will shoot down one of these drones so we can really, let's say, confirm their origin? And then I have another question connected with European Citizens Initiative in the Middle East. Thank you.
When will member states shoot down these drones? This is really a question for the member states. It's a question for the member states to reply. Not really in our remit to provide you with an answer on this. And was there any other angle? Anwar?
Probably, but I failed to comprehend the full scope of Mose's intervention. But if you need any further element in terms of drone per se, I think that Thomas would be happy to give you more. But we're in your hands, Mose. Tell us what you need.
Okay. I satisfied with that. Can I come back to the other question, Paula, if I may?
Yeah.
In the Daily News yesterday, there was an announcement that the European Commission has accepted a European Citizens Initiative submitted by a number of members of the Parliament concerning the suspension of the EU-Israeli Association Agreement. And it might have come as a surprise because I thought that these citizen initiatives were mainly intended for ordinary citizens. Of course, members of Parliament are also citizens, but as members of Parliament, they can propose anything they want when it comes to legislation to the Parliament. And secondly, we know that there is already a proposal by the Commission about sanctions or target measures against Israel, but they are kept on hold because, I understand, of the ceasefire in Gaza. So how does the Commission, let's say, justify or motivate accepting this proposal as admissible at this point of time? Thank you.
Thank you, Mose. It's not obvious at all that it would be Olaf replying to this question, but it is. So let's first make sure that there are no further questions on foreign affairs to Anwar, and then we'll ask Olaf to go into your question. Let's see. I'm also looking at the screen here. Camille Cerise, is it for Anwar? Camille, can you hear can you hear us?
Oui, vous m'entendez?
Oui, très bien Camille, vas-y.
Oui, bonjour Camille Seri de l'Agence Europe. J'avais une question sur la Tunisie. Je voulais savoir si vous aviez une réaction à la convocation de l'ambassadeur de l'Union européenne et si vous aviez plus de détails sur la raison de cette convocation. Merci beaucoup.
Oui, en effet, Camille. Anouar.
L'Union européenne prend note des messages transmis par le président Sayed lors de sa rencontre hier avec notre ambassadeur de l'Union européenne en Tunisie. L'Union européenne rappelle qu'il est courant, et cela fait partie de leur fonction, que les diplomates, où qu'ils se trouvent dans le monde, dialoguent avec un large éventail d'interlocuteurs dans leur pays d'accueil. Cela inclut également les contacts avec les organisations de la société civile qui peuvent grandement contribuer à renforcer la coopération bilatérale et à améliorer la qualité du dialogue. Je vais également rappeler ici qu'il me semble que le prix Nobel de la paix en 2015 a été décerné au quartet du dialogue national tunisien, dont faisait partie l'Union générale tunisienne du travail, pour qui, je cite, pour sa contribution décisive à l'instauration d'une démocratie pluraliste en Tunisie, selon le comité Nobel de la paix.
Merci Anouar. D'autres questions pour Anouar? Non. Alors, on change de sujet. Antoine.
Thank you. Antoine Muto for Japanese TV and HK. This is a question for Maciej. The CITES conference has started, and the vote on the EU proposal to regulate international trade on all eel species should take place tomorrow. Why is this proposal important for the EU, and how confident are you that it will be adopted, while Japan is opposing to it and is asking as well other countries to do so, to oppose it as well? Thank you.
Yes, Maciej.
Thank you, Antoine. So the EU proposed to list all non-listed freshwater eel species under CITES Appendix 2, as you know, because the global decline of eel species is scientifically well documented and requires an urgent and coordinated international response. The EU remains committed to global eel conservation and is working for a strong outcome at the CITES Conference of Parties. The Commission continues constructive engagement with other parties and partners, including Japan, to find a balanced solution that strengthens sustainable management and enforcement and against illegal trade.
Oui, Antoine. Tu as une question de suivi?
Thank you, Maciej. But so I understand that you are trying to still to talk with other countries, including Japan. But how confident are you that the vote will be your proposal will be adopted tomorrow, since there is the strong opposition of some countries, including Japan, with a huge number of consumers of eels? Yes. How confident are you? Thank you.
Yes, in general, Antoine, prognostics only after the game. Those are the safest. But Maciej, anything to add there?
Indeed. So we won't speak about hypothetical scenarios, obviously. Let's wait for the vote that is planned for tomorrow, and then we'll take it from there.
But discussions are ongoing, of course.
Thank you. And sorry, I have a short, small follow-up still. But have you taken into consideration the fact that in a country as Japan, the consumption of eel is really high and important for its society? Was it weighing in your proposal at all, or not at all? Thank you.
Look, as I said, we are speaking with our partners and other parties to find a solution that ensures sustainable management of eels worldwide, and also to prevent illegal trade. This is what I can say at the moment.
But we heard Japan's concerns. Good. Other questions to Maciej? Nope. Then let's ask Olaf to join us to address the question put earlier on by Mose on the European Citizens Initiative regarding a suspension of association agreement with Israel. And Olaf will remind us also of the context and where we are on that Citizens Initiative.
Thanks for your question, Mose. So, what has happened yesterday is that the Commission has registered this European Citizens Initiative. We did that because we looked at the details of the proposed ECI, and we deemed that it fell within the applicable criteria, and in fact, therefore, under law, we're obliged to register it. So that's the first stage, and then what happens is that the organisers have 6 months to start collecting signatures, and they have 12 months to collect them in total. If an ECI receives at least 1 million signatures of support in at least 7 member states, the Commission is then required to react and decide what action, if any, it will take in response to the initiative. So what happened yesterday was the very first stage in the process, the registration, and the next stages then flow from that. Hope that makes things clear.
In other words, Mose, the Commission did not pronounce itself on the content of the initiative, right? We're not yet there. Other questions to Olaf? Ghazi.
Olaf, are you able to say, because Seth, oh my God, I can't say his name, the Trade Commissioner said that a US delegation would be going to the US. An EU oh my God. An EU delegation would be going to the US. Can you say when they'll be going over? And are you able to give us any information? Because today is now the 26th of November, and I believe that, it's been about 2 weeks since there was discussion about the scrapping of the de minimis of the customs duty. So I was just curious as to, we're halfway through, is the Council working on this plan to accelerate to early next year, or is it the Commission and Council? Just, I was vague on the details, so I kind of wanted to know more. Thank you.
Thank you, Razia. So indeed, Commissioner Šefčovič announced yesterday that the intention is for a European team to travel to the US in the coming weeks to engage on all the many work strands that are ongoing between us and the US. I don't have any details on that to share at the moment. I'll provide them if and when I have them. And for your second question, are you referring to the implementation on the EU side of the agreement of the details of the joint statement? Yeah, I don't have any information to share on that. Those are questions for the Council and Parliament, respectively. Raz, you'll have to ask your question in a way that is comprehensible to me. What exactly are you asking here?
After the last ECOFIN, the Commission and Council published a statement saying we will work on a plan that will be an interim plan to bring the measures earlier than 2028 of the scrapping of the de minimis. Because it was Commission and Council, usually I would have assumed that it'd be Council, but I was curious as to whether it was Commission.
Yeah, I don't have anything on this, Razzie. I'll have to check and come back to you. Thanks.
Thank you. Other questions to Olaf? Nope. Then Sam Clark, online. A different topic, if I understand you. Sam, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can, and see you. Good.
Yeah, so my question is on the child sexual abuse material legislation. The Council passed its general approach today. I mean, obviously this is Council, but I wonder if, the proposal is doesn't include detection orders, which is something that's quite different from the Commission proposal. Neither does the Parliament version, or, well, a much more limited version. So they're both quite far from the original Commission proposal. And considering how strongly the Commission feels about this subject, is it disappointed in the proposal today? And in terms of the trilogues, I know you play an honest broker role, but do you have some particular hopes for the negotiations? There's a big deadline coming up. Can you just say anything about your position? Thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
Should we wait for that? Thank you very much, Sam, for the question. The Commission welcomes the Council agreement, that the Council reached an agreement on its position concerning the proposal for a regulation to prevent and combat child sexual abuse. This will now allow for a swift start of the negotiations between the co-legislators. And Sam, you've said it already, without a legal framework, most of the reports will no longer reach us from April 2026 on, and in this regard, we do welcome the agreement within Member States to be able to work on an overall agreement now. When it comes to trilogues, you know this is for the co-legislators to announce and to deal with.
Yeah. And as you very, very rightly pointed out, Sam, that's where we do play a role as honest broker, indeed, as Commission, as part of those trilogues. Other questions to Marcus? Yes, Nicholas.
Thank you, Magnus, with Euractiv. Yesterday we covered, obviously the news broke that Slovakia's government is moving to replace the leadership of its whistleblower authority. You declined to comment on potential violations. I wondered whether that had changed today and whether there is any link to the infringement procedure opened against Slovakia last week. Thank you.
Very much for the question, Magnus. We are aware that a draft law has been tabled by the Slovak government and is going through a fast-track procedure by the Slovak parliament. Several elements of this law raise strong concerns in relation to EU law. This concerns notably the envisaged dissolution of the existing whistleblower protection office and the resulting early termination of the mandate of the head of office. We have flagged our concerns to the Slovak authorities and believe these would require a thorough discussion. The Commission remains available to discuss these matters with the Slovak authorities.
Thank you, Marcus. Yes, Magnus, you have a follow-up?
So just, could you spell it out for me? This is a completely independent process of the infringement procedure that the Commission started last week. Thank you.
Yes, thanks, Magnus, for the follow-up. Yes, indeed, these are different procedures. You know, we look at laws and new legal provisions individually and check whether they are in line with EU law.
Good. Magnus is satisfied with the reply. That's very good. Let's move on to other questions to Marcus. Yeah, Stefan? No? Different topic? To Marcus still? Anyone? No, then we can indeed have you come in, Stefan.
Yes, Stefan is at Europe Table. Can you confirm that the President von der Leyen is traveling with President Macron to China in, I think, on the 5th of December? Thank you.
Thank you, Stefan. No, for the moment I cannot confirm that, that meeting or that trip. Other questions on other topics? No more questions? Good. So we conclude a bit earlier today. Wish you a very nice afternoon. Thank you all.